Welcome everyone to India Home's 10-year anniversary celebration. I mean, can I get a round of applause? 10 years.
It was just 2 years back when, because of the various activities conducted by India Home, New York City politicians came to know that India Home is doing really great job. And as a result, they approved one grant of $1.4 million to acquire a property, which we acquired in Wexford Terrace in Jamaica. Just a few days back, another grant of $2 million was approved, and that will enable us to acquire a property in Queens Village. India Home, when it started, it had only the trickle of activities only. But over the 10 years, it has flooded. It's humming with activities. And we have about 3 different centers. And one is in Sunnyside, one is in Kew Garden, another one is in Jamaica. And the biggest one is in Jamaica, where 100 Bangladeshi Muslims, they come thrice a week. Whereas in other places, they come once a week. And what happened was that year before last, we were homeless. India Home, but no home. But because of the activities that India Home has been doing, I think the politicians of New York City government, they realized that India Home is the one who takes care of South Asian seniors as well as Indo-Caribbean seniors. So they approved a first grant of $1.4 million, and we were in a position to acquire a property in Wexford Terrace, Jamaica. The second grant, which was just announced last week or so, and that is for the $2 million. And that will enable India Home to acquire property in Queens Village.
I must thank you for working closely with the community members as well as with the administration in making them aware about not only the activities of India Home, but also about the needs of the seniors and in what way this partnership can move forward. Tell me a little bit about in what way community should consider working in this direction with this grant and the way the vision of India Home moves forward.
Okay, as you know, we are all aging. So all we become senior or senior most people. At a time comes when there is a social isolation comes in, and social isolation leads to mental and physical deterioration. As a result, senior citizen centers are very important, and in that regard, when they come, meet and greet everybody there, they just find that India Home is a second home, and they really perk up at that. And they really feel happy that they have some people who speak their language. They have their own culturally appropriate meals there, and they are taken out to various parts of city. So they keep themselves engaged. So it is good for the health of the seniors.
In fact, the India Home was born close to this place in Rosalind Heights. So we registered this organization as a not-for-profit organization in 2007. And from then onwards, our journey has begun.
So let us talk about the latest that we would say is the hot news from India Home.
Yeah, we have a wonderful news. We got our second capital grant of $2,048,000 from the Queensborough President Melinda Cage, as well as the council members. So we are planning to purchase a second South Asian community home in Queens Village. As you remember, last year we got our first capital grant to purchase a 3,300 square feet area in Jamaica Estates with the help of council member Rory Lansman. And this year, we have this, and out of between these two properties, our borough president, Melinda Cage, actually allotted more than $2 million for our capital grant to develop 2 South Asian community homes, both in Jamaica Estates and Queens Village. This is the greatest news so far.
And I'm so delighted to hear that, and I'm sure many of our viewers are also excited about the new, we would say, permanent structure which would cater to the needs of South Asians. And in order for that to happen, two questions. Number one, you have demonstrated honesty as well as consistency and a sense of transparency, which made your organization being considered by Queensborough President for this grant. So, talk to us a little bit about how you manage to sustain this spirit within, as well as share with people who work with you.
Because I strongly believe in this cause, not because I'm a geriatric psychiatrist, but because our founding board members, we went through quite a bit of taking care of our own family members with various medical problems like dementia and Parkinson's. That's when we realized we are committed. Of course, we could come this far, not just because of one individual. It's our board. We have a strong board members. And right now, we are under the leadership of Mr. Mukund Mehta. He is actually guiding us pretty well. At the same time, we have other board members like Dr. Amit Sood and Ms. Neetu Jain and Mr. Ali Azmi and Ms. Jaya Bahetkar. All these people are helping us quite a bit. And in fact, one of our board members, Dr. Ankinid Prasad, he actually hosted a home fundraising in New York City for the first time to raise funds from his family and friends. And he helped us to raise $30,000 towards the South Asian Community Home when we have committed members, board members. At the same time, our members who are attending our centers, we have more than 1,500 people, and at least every week, 200 seniors, 200 to 250 seniors attend various our programs. And also our founding donors, like Doshi Family Foundation, she donated a bus and 100,000. There was another big anonymous donor whose name he does not want to reveal, but he donated our first capital grant donation. We raised more than 1 million from the community and various family foundations. And when we have many community donors, some of them, they give big donations like 5,000, 10,000, but they don't want their name to be announced. So when we have community support like that, we can do anything, and we can do many more community homes like this.
I feel most excited about the concept of service, the passionate service that our founder, President Dr. Kalaspudi, and other board members, Dr. Dave, Dr. Sood, looking at their passion and slowly understanding the cause and seeing how important it is. That is where we all get inspired from, their continuous, relentless service for this cause. And that's why we just follow them, and we're in it today. Yeah.
And of course, we do a lot of outings with them. And we do yoga, we do lots of creative activities. And especially Mukundji had mentioned that we have special meal for them. I make sure for Lalita auntie we have Jain food every time when she comes. So it's very important, and we have to make sure that all their needs are met.
They have no children or no one at home. They're alone. So when they come at the center, they feel like it's a home. It's a home for them.
And specialists in mental health, they come in and talk about the mental health issues, because we all know mental health issue is a stigma and taboo in our community. They don't really want to talk about this. So we make them comfortable talking about this.
You have been a part of the growth of India Home for many years. Talk to us, how do you feel today?
You know, it's a great milestone for India Home and for the communities that it serves. You know, it's not easy to go to a senior center if you don't know anybody, if you don't speak the languages. We have many seniors here who come from South Asia, and they need a place to go. And India Home is filling a very, very important gap in our social service network. It's not just about senior services, but it's about a panoply of services that people, older people of South Asian descent, can access. I'm proud to have been able to continue to fund India Home. This is my fourth budget. They do very well by the City Council. We always want more, but Dr. K and her whole group and the board and everybody at India Home should be very proud of the work they're doing.
So in order to understand a little bit more about the work that they are doing, something substantial, and while persistently you see them doing what they have set out to do with the vision to serve seniors, anything in particular which sets India Home apart? There are many organizations which are doing good work, but some kind of stand out because of, you call that the sustained spirit to serve.
Well, the one thing that stands out is Dr. K. To create a program from scratch is not easy. There's a lot of bureaucracy, and you use the word persistence, and that really is critical. And it really boils down, though, at the end of the day, to the individual. It's about helping every single person, and I know that the people that are walking into the doors of India Home, wherever they may be, is getting top-notch services. In the city council, we're I haven't looked at the latest budget, but I know there's hundreds of thousands of dollars heading to India Home, and that's critical, especially for older people, as I said before, may not have the language skills. They want to get social services from people who look and sound like them. It's just human nature. So I have been happy to provide a good deal of funding to them. I provide other forms of funding for other social services targeted at the South Asian community, so nobody feels left out in New York City.
We did receive 14 computers from Older Adults Technology Services, and we have 14 computers set up at our location in Jamaica Estates.
It's important to note that yes, government spending has increased over time, but they need to see that our community has faith in us. They need to see that you guys believe in our organization.
A lot of the Asian American organizations, including India, we all got together to advocate for more funding in our communities. In the middle of that, Leroy Comrie, who was a council member, asked me to join the staff to be his budget and legislative director. And for me, that was kind of like an aha moment, because I was going to be able to learn how the city council budget worked and bring that back to the communities, bring the information back so that nonprofits like India Home could get access to these funds.
India Home proudly presents Beacon Award to Mr. Richard Lee in recognition of his guidance to South Asian Community Home.
Namaskar, I'm Ashok. We are here at Swan Club, 10 years of India Home, and the presence of someone who has been a big supporter of the community, Budget Director with QUEENSBOROUGH President Melinda Kaj, Richard Lee joins me today. He's also being recognized for his dedication and devotion to what he's doing. So let us begin, and allow me to share, Richard, when I heard about Budget Director, I was not looking at someone in this age group. So at such early age, you have managed to have such a huge responsibility on shoulders. So what prepared you for that?
Well, I started off as a community organizer, actually. And then one of the things that I organized for is our budget advocacy back then at a nonprofit, so that more nonprofits who are serving our communities could get better access to funding. And in the middle of that, the city council member at the time, Leroy Comrie, he was a senator now, state senator, but he asked me to join his staff in his capacity as his budget director. And so I joined his staff with the intent that I would bring more information back to our nonprofits so they could gain access to these funds, right? So they know how to do this better. And from there, the borough president, when the councilman's term ended, asked me to join her staff as their budget director, overseeing all of her capital funding and her program funding. And so I'd say my experience is really based from the community, that I learned that, you know what, these communities need these funds to do their jobs better, right? To help the most vulnerable in their community better. And then from there, my government experience, I kind of learned, the entire process so that I could help groups like India Home who need these funds to help their constituents, to help their seniors, right? And so that's how I sort of came into this role, doing this for about 10 years.
Oh, wow. So there are 2 10s here, 10 years of India Home as well as 10 years of Richard Lee in the role that he has right now is as budget director. If I may request you to share, what is it that made you work in favor of the proposal to have this grant for additional facility for India Home, 2 million. So there must be a lot of measurements that would assure you that what you are doing is the right thing to do.
So, a lot of these times for funding, the city has a lot of rules and a lot of regulations, and because it's using public dollars to invest into nonprofits, right? And so it's not easy getting these funds, the funds for like capital funding for a lot of these nonprofits, and it takes a lot of nonprofits years and years and years. I have a couple nonprofits who apply, and then they wouldn't make it because of certain regulations they didn't meet. And so working with India Home, they came to me early and said, you know what, this is what we want to do. And so I was kind of able to shepherd them through the entire process. And for the borough president's office and the Queensborough president, Melinda Katz, she's been a longtime supporter of immigrant communities and for India Home because they're doing work in communities that actually really need their services but are currently being undermet. Right? And so we were more than happy to help them through the entire process and get them the $2 million that they needed so they could better serve the community, right? So they could get access to community space so that all of the people who are coming to them for whatever they need, their seniors who are coming together for like their senior meals and things like that, would have a space that are going to be comfortable for them and serving in programs and services that are in language and culturally appropriate, right? And so for us, it was very important for nonprofits like India Home, who we knew had the capacity to do this, but didn't exactly know the process how to get there. You know, we were more than happy to kind of shepherd them through the entire process so that they could get the funds that they need and deserve to serve the community.
Center. And so we have big plans and big visions for our community, and we can only get there with your support.
When we organized cruises, 4 cruises with 2,000 community members, she is the driving force in 2011 and 12, even now. Thank you.
The India Home is a organization who helps people to get together. The elderly people stayed home, so most of the time what they do, they put them together at different locations and they have activities. So keep that all elderly people busy from the house, and they have their own group. They build a nice group, individual area. So when people, they don't feel they are alone. They have multiple friends. So they like to spend their time with the friends. So this is Sanstha, this organization is doing very good activities for those kind of people.
So we were beyond honored to commit, and more than commit, but to ensure that $250,000 was in this budget to support this institution, because it is so important to ensure that our communities in particular have a place that we can call our own.
It leads India Home. Proudly presents the Kindness Spirit Award to Council Member Donovan Richards in recognition for his dedication to the South Asian Community House.
It is great to be standing with Council Member Donovan Richard, and why I say great is because where he sees an opportunity to serve, he doesn't hold back his compassionate, dynamic ways of finding ways to offer the kind of support which he has offered for India Home also. So Donovan, let's backtrack a little bit and try to understand how you perceive your role as a council member.
Well, as a council member, it's our job to serve and to hear the needs of different communities all around the corners of Queens and to make sure that we come back with deliverables. So if there are things that the community is struggling with, whether it's budgetary, whether it's city services, our job is to be responsive in ensuring that the community and that the city is receiving the services that it deserves.
If I may ask you, for the benefit of our viewers and especially New Yorkers, each council member has, if I say, certain powers. And when we talk about financial power in terms of their ability to contribute to some cause which they feel would serve the largest interest of the community. From in this space, what information you can share with us?
Well, you know, there are 51 council members. We each are allotted at least a $5 million minimum each year to make sure that we can give out to organizations and agencies to ensure that we're building institutions across Queens. And then we also are allotted a certain amount to ensure that we can support programs like India Home as well. So it's really an honor to be able to hear the needs of different communities and to be able to come back, such as we've done with India Home and contributing $250,000 in capital money to ensure the South Asian community has a place they can call their own.
Well, you know, I'm so proud of India Home and all the work that they do with the senior community. And I'm so proud that I represent such a large Indian American and South Asian constituency. And they're a great community, great hard-working community, the heart of the small business community, the medical community, and I'm so proud of that representation, and I'm so proud what India Home has done, and I got an award from them today, and I'm so proud of that. I'm going to put it in a very prominent spot in my office to remind me how great India Home is and what a great job they do for the community.
Talking to Senator John Liu is such a joy, indeed an honor. We have known him for many years. As city controller also he served, as council member also he have served. And now here at a wonderful venue, 10 years of India Home, you have known the journey of India Home.
Since the beginning. First of all, you and I have been speaking for a long time, before either of us had white hair. And now I can't believe, I remember when Dr. Kalasapudi and some others were talking about starting this organization called India Home, and in the snap of a finger, 10 years goes by. But 10 years have gone by in a way that so many people in our community have been served by this organization, served in a way that no other organization in New York can possibly imagine, because of the understanding of the culture and the diet and what our senior citizens need. So we have to continue to support India Home. I know the community keeps growing, and so undoubtedly India Home will continue to grow.
India Home has really broke the ground and brought the Indian community in the forefront, making politicians aware, and we are getting so much visibility and because of the India Home, we are getting so much of grant, and I mean, this is the thing which is needed for our community. Any community that don't take care of their seniors, I think the community should go down the drain, that kind of thing. That is how strongly I feel about it. So India Home has done the pioneer work in this regards.
India Home has worked in a persistent, honest, committed manner, which has been recognized by officials, and there have been significant contribution from various council members as well as Office of Queensborough President, and indeed community members are also doing their bit by supporting India Home. The journey continues with these inspiring glimpses of an event organized by India Home. This is Ashok, Vyas for ITV Gold.